Hey guys, it's Neil again from Heart of Texas Armory, and today I want to bring you guys a video review of this very impressive timepiece from Phoibos. So this is the brand new and updated and upgraded Phoibos PY007B. This is the blue model. They come in three different colors. So you got the green, you have the blue, and then the black. This one being the B model, which is the blue. So this model here, Phoibos has had this particular model, the PY007, for about a year now. I believe they released it sometime early 2017, maybe summer 2017. So now a year later, they've come out with the Gen 2, and they've made some key upgrades to this watch, which we'll talk about today. And it is very impressive timepiece here, guys. So let's go ahead and slide the watch over and bring up the specs for you guys. So with this watch here, you're looking at a case diameter of 40 millimeters. And to me, that is just about the perfect size. I love watches that are 40 to 41 millimeter case diameters. It's going to fit pretty much anyone's wrist size, anyone from, say, as small as 6 1/4 all the way up to probably 8-inch wrist. Just a very versatile size. Now your lug width here for your straps and bands, bracelets, you're looking at 20 millimeters, so also a very common size. That's a good thing. Another positive, your lug to lug from that point all the way to that point there is only 47 millimeters. So again, I love watches, particularly dive watches that are in this size here, with a under 50 millimeter lug to lug and 40 to 41 millimeter case size. It just fits perfectly on most people's wrist. Your case thickness here, you're looking at 13 millimeters, so not too bad. Most of my dive watches are going to be closer to 15 millimeters. So the 13 actually wears really nice on the wrist, hugs low on the wrist, and we'll see that when I show a wrist shot here in a little bit. Now, the weight on this particular watch, you're looking at 170 grams, which is 6 ounces. So fairly heavy here, guys, but I like that. I like a watch, I don't want a watch that's too heavy over, say, 200 grams, but in this range here, anywhere from about 150 to 170, I think it just feels really good on the wrist. You can definitely tell you're wearing a watch. It feels high quality. So I like the weight on that. Now the movement we got here, this is actually a very high quality movement. This is a Miyota 9015. And the 9015 is used in quite a few micro brand watches, but it's not as common as the Seiko NH35A. That's the movement you're going to see most of the time in this price point. So let's go ahead and talk about the price point. The price point here, we're only $299 here, guys. So that is a really good price for the type of specs we're getting here. Most other watches, like I mentioned, will feature that Seiko instead of this Miyota. So the Miyota is going to have a higher beat per hour. So this is at 28,800 beats per hour. It has a over 42-hour power reserve. This is an automatic watch, and it does have 24 joules. So it is an upgrade over the standard Seiko NH35. This watch also has a nice sapphire crystal, which is going to resist scratches, which is always a positive. A lot of other watches, micro brands, they may supply it with a hardened mineral crystal. The sapphire is certainly an upgrade. This watch also features 300 meters of water resistance, which is 1,000 feet. So this will handle just about anything in the water. You could go scuba diving with it, snorkeling, of course, just about anything in the water here, this watch will handle without no problem. That's definitely a positive. And it does come with a 2-year warranty, which is nice. So that's never a negative when you have a prolonged warranty like that on watches. So Phoibos always has a 2-year warranty on their automatic watches, which is nice. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of these key upgrades. So on the left-hand side now, we'll have a picture of the old model pop up. So that way we can compare it with this one, the new one. And some of the key upgrades here is going to be, one, the dropping off the magnifier. So right there, you've dropped off the magnifier versus the original. I like that. I'm not a fan of magnifiers. I know some of you guys like them, but to me, it's just cleaner overall design without a magnifier. So I think that's a good decision by Phoibos here. They've also dropped off the logo. So you have the octopus logo here, the King Octopus, instead of the Phoibos. And I think that's also a nice upgrade. You know, Phoibos is really starting to use that logo throughout the watch. I mentioned that in some of my earlier videos before they were doing that, and I'm really pleased that they listen to their customers and that they've implemented that logo on the dial and in some other spots too. So that's a huge positive for me. They've also upgraded the loom. The loom on this is simply spectacular. They've got 12 layers of Superluminova BGW9 loom on this, and it is exceptionally bright. We'll show a loom shot here in just a second. So that's a great upgrade. And then the last thing I'll mention is this is made in the new facility. They've recently switched to a new manufacturer for their watches out of Hong Kong. And to me, it's night and day. The quality has stepped up even higher than before. The Chinese manufacturer was making definitely, you know, nice watches for them, but they were having some quality control issues. This Hong Kong manufacturer here is definitely higher quality in my opinion. So that's some of your upgrades here versus the old model. So let's talk about this watch in a little more detail real quick, and then we'll close the review up with a wrist shot, the loom shot, and then the positives and negatives. So first talking points here we'll talk about is the case. So you do have 316L fully, the whole watch is 316L, so this is going to be very corrosion resistant. This is an industry standard material here, excellent quality stainless steel, so that's always a good thing. We've already talked about the movement being a Miyota 9015. That's definitely a high quality movement in this price point. You do have a signed crown right here. You do have the octopus logo signed on the crown and also on the case back here, which is a screw down case back. You can see that nice laser etching right there on the case back. Looks really cool. Now, the actual dial, it is simply beautiful. You can see that beautiful blue sunburst. It is quite spectacular. It does feature a ceramic bezel here, and that is also in this price point. Again, I keep saying this, but incredible value for the money here, guys. So beautiful dial. You have the ceramic bezel insert, and you have a really nice unidirectional bezel here, guys. So it just feels just really high quality. One of the best feeling bezels I've ever felt in a watch. Just really well done. And of course, everything lines up here for us, which is always nice. But that bezel is really good. No complaints at all. And again, the loom is simply spectacular. You should be seeing a loom shot pop up right now just so you can see how bright this watch is. That loom is, in my opinion, the best I have seen on any watch that I've owned. That includes some pretty high-end pieces. But certainly in this price point, I don't know of any watch that has better loom than this. If y'all do, leave them down in the comments. I'd love to take a look at them. But this loom here lasts throughout the night. You know, after 8 to 10 hours, it's still visible, which is very, very impressive. Excellent, excellent loom. So, and then we'll close out with the strap here, the bracelet. It's another high-quality bracelet from Phoibos. Everything is machined here. You don't have no stamp pieces. The end links are solid, solid machine clasp. Everything works just like you would expect. You can see it clicks in nice, and you do have a safety clasp there. Phoibos logo on the safety clasp, Phoibos etched there as well. So just some nice touches. You know, overall, you know, the bracelet is really nice. I'm not a huge, you know, steel bracelet kind of guy, but this one wears really nice. I do like it. So let's go ahead and put this on the wrist, and we'll take a look what it looks like on there, and we'll wrap this video up. There we go, guys. So you can see it on my 7-inch wrist. Wears really nice. There it is with that 13mm thickness. Everything just fits perfectly. I'm a big fan of this watch. It looks really, really nice. So well done, Phoibos. So let's wrap this video review up with the positives and negatives. So we'll start off with the positives here. The first positive is just the exceptional build quality here. This watch here at the price point, you know, I don't know of too many other watches that are going to have all these specs in this price point. Just exceptional build quality. This feels like a watch that would cost well over what they're charging. At $299.99 is a good value. It looks really nice. I think it just, you know, it's an homage to a Rolex Submariner. Everybody knows that, but this is a very well done one where they've They've changed some things where you can instantly tell that it's not a copy, but it does look nice because it does look like a Submariner as well. So that's always a good thing in my opinion. The timekeeping on this is very good. You're looking at probably plus or minus 10 seconds at the worst. The Miyota 9015s are very accurate movements here, so you're not going to have to worry about this too much. Very accurate. And then the last thing here I'll mention, the last couple things, is the case size. I think is just a winner. That 40 millimeter case size, and all the specs on this is just about perfect in my opinion if you're looking for a dive watch, an all-purpose dive watch. And then, you also have the 300-meter water resistance, which is always a positive. Now, the only negatives that I can think of with this watch, there's not a lot of them because it is quite nice. There's only two that I could find. One is that the rotor inside here, so the automatic rotor, it's just a little loud, and that's kind of a trait of Miyota movements. Anybody that's had a Miyota movement, even the cheaper movements that they make, they all have a loud rotor when you compare it to like the Seiko. It's not crazy loud. It's not going to bother you, but it is a little louder than I would have liked. And then the last thing here I'll mention for a negative is the bezel. While it does have good grip, it feels nice, it is just a little slick. I think if they would have had just a little more aggressive texture on here, it would have been just about perfect. But these are just small little nitpicks here, guys. Overall, this watch is just a perfect dive watch here. I would highly recommend you check this out. Phoibos definitely has another winner here on their hands. Whenever they come up with these Gen 2s or upgraded models, they're definitely worth looking into. Even if you have the old model, I would say upgrade to this. The lume alone is worth that extra $20. And everything else, it wears good. The crown feels good. You guys probably are familiar with Miyota movements. The crown, the winding, this watch hacks. It's just got a lot going for it. I really can't recommend it enough here, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video review. If you have any questions or comments on this watch, leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Y'all guys take care. I'll catch you on the next one.